this is Farmer Aubrey and Megan coming to you from the Park High School kitchen. Megan, we finally made it to December 2020.
We did. This year sure has been a lot of things, but I'm glad that it gave us a chance to make these videos together.
And we're here for one more. I just can't remember what it is.
Is it pulses?
You're right. It's lentils.
Awesome. Farmer Aubrey, can you tell us about our recipe today?
Sure, we're going to be making a lentil sloppy joes. So I grew up with sloppy joes, and this was something my mom would make for dinner. It was really easy because you just buy one of those seasoning packets from the store, add it into some ground beef or turkey, and you had dinner. Maybe just, use some bread, but other than that, it's pretty easy.
So I actually didn't grow up eating a lot of sloppy joes, so I'm really excited to try this recipe today.
Well, there is one difference. Instead of using ground meat, we're going to be using our lentils. And I already have lentils simmering on the stove, but do you know why we might want to use lentils instead of meat, Megan?
Well, I know that lentils are really high in fiber, and that's healthy for you. So if we're switching in for lentils, that's a great idea because it keeps us full for longer.
Exactly. So, and if you aren't really that into lentils, but you want to try it, you can always do half lentils and half ground meat. So we have our lentils cooking. We also have some oil that is hot and ready to go on the stove. I'm going to be adding some bell peppers that Megan already diced for us. And in addition to that, we'll be adding some onion. Thank you, Megan. And those are going to take a few minutes to cook down. And while they're doing that, Megan, can you tell us about our other spices?
Yep. So our other ingredients that we're going to add are 2 cloves of minced garlic. We'll be adding some paprika, some chili powder, and some salt.
Thank you. Alright, so we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and we're going to come right back to tell you about our next few ingredients. Alright, so our peppers and onions have cooked down quite a bit, and our lentils have been drained. Megan, what are the next ingredients we'll be adding?
So we are also going to add some pickle brine, some Worcestershire sauce, some maple syrup, some mustard, tomato paste, and tomato sauce. This is a great recipe because you can use different ingredients depending on what you have at home and what flavors you like. So for example, if you didn't have maple syrup, you could just use molasses or honey instead. And if you don't like the flavor of, for example, pickle brine, you can just leave that ingredient out.
Alright, so we're going to add all of these ingredients together, including our last ingredient, which are the drained lentils. So Megan, will you use the spatula and pour them there? Alright, all of this is going to get stirred together. It's going to simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Alright.
So Megan, while this is cooking, what can you tell us about pulses?
Well, pulse crops are any edible seed from a plant that is in the legume family. So for example, dried beans, dried peas, and of course lentils. We grow a lot of pulse crops in Montana. Last year, 40% of the lentils that were grown in the US were grown in Montana. And we also grew a lot of beans and peas.
That's a lot. Why were there so many lentils grown here?
Well, one of the reasons why we grow so many pulse crops in Montana is because they work well in the crop rotation that Montana farmers are already using. So when a farmer grows wheat or corn, those crops use nitrogen and take it out of the soil. Pulse crops are nitrogen fixers, and they put nitrogen back in the soil so that the farmer can continue to grow healthy crops.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So, do you think we can eat our lentils now?
Looks good to me. Let's taste it.
Great. That's good. So remember that this is a sloppy joe filling, so you can turn it into a whole meal by adding hamburger buns.
And remember that pulse crops are a really versatile ingredient that you can add to lots of different recipes like soups and chilies and dips. If you have a favorite recipe that uses a pulse crop, we would love to hear it. Thanks!